Right, so we're here currently right before the FOMC tomorrow at 2 to 3 p.m. Right now, we're just going to do a quick top-down analysis of Bitcoin, see where we're trending for the upcoming news, and I'll tell you what I'm expecting. So what you're looking at right off the jump, that's Bitcoin on a weekly chart. I mean, this thing has been pretty bullish for a long amount of time. I mean, you can see that there's this kind of a sideways trending market here. That was about, what was that, 763 days. I'd like to make that a little smaller. That's pretty interesting. Look at that. So even just that was 511 days. That's 2023. There's a little sideways trend here. This was March of 2004 to 24 to October 24. And that was 224 days of sideways. And there's like a little sideways, not long. 91 days. That was, now we're kind of in February, beginning of the year. And since then, we've just kind of been going up. You start like looking at these kind of kind of marks here. Kind of like your push, kind of your push, kind of your push. There's different people that are expecting a pullback. I'm probably around this halfway mark. I think we'll push up first, but I think we come back down here on the weekly. It looks possible, but with all the institutionals pulling in, it's kind of hard to tell now. But just something to think about. There's like a fair value gap around here, around this 90, even as low as 70. So it's just something to know that exists. But let's kind of get to the current weeks. That was just kind of something I was just looking at. All right, top-down analysis. Okay, last few weeks, you can see is all up on the screen. You can see the last prior couple weeks, we were in bear trend, kind of pulling back. We pulled back to this gap here, hardly, and we kind of reacted off of it and started to come to the upside. This is this week, so the potential moment of it's not there. This is Monday's candle. So let's say if you're coming into it, you could think it could be internal to external, meaning you're on the inside of everything. You could push to the external side of this range. It could be an external to internal push. That's possible if you're looking at this, but it's also possible to continue downtrending, even hit this zone around this 103 eventually, and then push up, or we can go internal to external, but there's no clear trend here coming off of it. So we would want it for Monday's candle to print. So now Monday's candle is printed. It showed, rejection on the top side and, slowly retracing down backwards. It's at the same rejection point as the week prior. So this could be like a rejection block right around here, okay, top of these two wicks. So we're seeing a lot of buy pressure here. So this could be a zone, 115 is kind of like a ceiling at the moment. It's kind of pushing through. It's having a hard time to push through it. And as high as that 116.8. We push through this zone, I'd expect to start pushing your 118s. And this is the internal to external idea. And that would kind of push us up into these zones. You can even see, a lot of rejection. Again, the same mark. There's a giant rejection block here on Bitcoin. Okay, we've had these crazy push days, sure, but this zone, this 118.7 has been protected for a while. So even if we push in, the weeks close always right at that point. So this is something to think about. So if we see a push through this, we see some all-time highs like here, we push through, we're going to see some high end where, it's going to explode out. But this is a rejection block to kind of keep an eye on to know it exists. Okay. Currently, we have a rejection block here. We're reacting to it. It just formed only off of the Monday candle, but we have something there. We'll take that away from now. Okay. So now we drop down to the daily. I have some things marked. So let's just go back to the hold on. I apologize. So we marked this big box here. Wondering what that was on the daily. Okay, so when I drop to the daily, that big box is that. Is that. It's the bottom side. Okay, so I have drawn here this yellow line is tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Is that the news release of the FOMC. Okay, so on the daily, this is Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Monday yesterday, pushed up, rejection on the downside. Okay, so we're already getting the rejection prior to the news. So I was kind of thinking that we were going to get a pullback before the news. A lot of people were thinking this was going to keep going up until the news, and then maybe sell the news so there'd be a run up and then a pull back. But now it's already pulling back. So I'm expecting a cut. So I'm thinking we see a pull back to the news and then we kind of take off. That's kind of what I was saying. People were saying this was going to run, like pre-front the news, and this was going to be a short opportunity. That does happen at sometimes, and that's what people were kind of talking about, buy the news. I said this was going to be a sell a news event, but I was looking at a buy a news event. I was thinking it was going to be a buy news event too, because I thought we were going to get this indecision, sell off, news comes out, I'll just say cut, rates are cut, we kind of see a push to the upside. Right now, we're already seeing the sell off before that confirmed that potential as long as we get the cuts. This could have ran all the way up to the news and then we could have pulled it back. Could have ran up to around 118, that same zone, that same prior zones. But we're not seeing that. We're also seeing the rejection block here on that 115.7. Prior days. This is your Sunday. These are weekends. That's not so valid. But Monday ran up, got pushed right back down. Today ran up, got pushed right back down. So we're still looking bearish on the daily at the moment. I'm expecting to reset off of this block here. Pretty sure it's a 4-hour block. So we drop down to the 4-hour. Just keep identifying. So this is the order block right here. We have identified another one right here on the 4-hour. Yesterday, price was coming back. I was trading this. I was expecting price to be falling here. It basically just took off. This is here we had a fair value gap. Takes the liquidity on the fair value gap. I was expecting to come down to this order block. I took all of that, decided to go back up. What happened was rejection block right here. Prices, having a hard time at again 15.7. It's been kind of normal. It's been rejecting off this 15.7. Market's opening today. Market's coming down. It's kind of what I was thinking this move was going to come here yesterday, continue, but it didn't. So here, price is still pushing down on the 4-hour. Jump down to the hour. Okay, this was yesterday. Market swaying down. This is London's, New York's. New York, I was expecting more breakdown. PM, New York, London, Asia. Go back down. Getting some rejection off the bottom side here. Okay, down to the 30. Down to the 30. You can see some kill zones highlighted. So we had Asia yesterday, sell off in the night. London, New York opened. I was expecting a breakdown. It literally just trended the whole day. Didn't break up, didn't break down, literally trended. PM session, I was expecting potential finally break. It did not. This would have been the zone where it could have broke. Then we had an Asia trending. London pushed Asia's highs and also cleared out New York's highs as well. So it took New York PM and Asia's highs. And then this is kind of what I was expecting. New York to open, have a slight push up, and then fall down. It's kind of what I would have expected. Yeah, for sure. So I would, if it did take Asia's lows, then it did take Asia's lows. So now it's reacting to Asia's lows, grab this liquidity down here, and we're seeing a reaction. Could we keep coming down? Sure. We have some liquidity down here. I still feel like it wants to fill this. And I'm thinking we still sell. I think we're gonna buy the news event, so I think this sells off until tomorrow. Uh, buy the news. We finally get into here, and then we kind of push up. We break through this prior resistance, and we continue onward and upward towards that 118 and plus mark. We drop down to the 15, which is kind of give you a closer visual. We got New York's in sell-off. We're seeing that, rejection. So it took the lows. It's coming back up. That was right there. That was Asia's low. Took Asia's low, pushing up. So now, what do I think? If it's going to continue to go lower, I say price comes back. It could just keep dropping, okay? But I would like to see for an entry, price to pull back into my zone and then continue down. This could just keep breaking. That does happen. It's kind of what it's doing right now at 15. We could just see it break right down into this. If it closes below the zone, which looks like it's going to, drop down to the 5. Yeah, straight breakdown. So, that would have definitely foreseen the New York push up, run up before it breaks down. Looks like we're just going to drop right into the zone as I was thinking. Looks like that's what's going to happen. Would be nice to see a slight retracement, come back up and break down. That'd be straight beautiful. Because they didn't, I don't know where they even got all these tags, but they're selling off. They're selling off. Let's see if I can find an example. Yeah, no. Straight sell off. Okay, so market selling off on the 5 minute. See what's going to happen. I'm thinking we get price down in here, get some reaction in the 114 zone. And I was expecting this break yesterday here. I was expecting this to keep going. And even when I saw this push up to take it 40 here and even take all of this, I was expecting this to break. But Asia came in range, pumped in London, and now New York slightly getting the break. I would continue this to keep breaking. I would expect this to continue to keep breaking, react. I don't know if we get push up though, right off the jump, because like I said, this is our views. We may continue to come down, trend, it might trend in this area for a while. And go. Good news, we're coming up. Bad news, we might fill this block that we highlighted on the weekly. It's that weekly block. So bad news, we fill this block. Good news, we come down here, we hit this, push up. Depending on if some crazy stuff comes out before the news, I don't think we slide as low as this. No. This block will be filled though. In my opinion, this block will get filled. One day we're coming down to the 112, 110 area time. That might not seem likely, especially if we get a crazy pump. This will be filled. Again, won't mean across. It's gonna be filled. Don't know if it's a bit, but we'll see. Okay, so that's your daily. Take a quick look at Solana. He's stuck in the range. Again, we'll sell off. Been ranging. A bit of time short yesterday. Yeah. This is yesterday, 2 o'clock at the top of the range. Short of that range. It's kind of I kind of called that. I kind of knew that. I said, look, it's in a range. I didn't think it was going to break. It, after I started looking at Bitcoin's chart, I was expecting the break. I was trading Solana a little heavier yesterday. I didn't keep my eye locked on Bitcoin. I didn't see Bitcoin doing this yesterday, pumping up. I'm just watching Solana. I'm waiting for the break on Solana. Bitcoin's pushing up, which then pushed Solana up, obviously. But to touch Solana to the top of its range, boom, could have shorted to the bottom. That would have been a beautiful short, crazy short. But now we're reacting to the bottom, so we stay. I say we stay in the range. I said if Bitcoin decides to go to that bottom range, Solana will check out this bottom range. Bitcoin reacts to where it is down, starts to trend back up. We're going to kind of come off this and I may range for a little bit more. We might range until the news. Once the bottom, we may bounce, maybe one more, come back trace, and boom. Kind of looks like. Well, time will tell. Till the next video. Let's go.